So it's been a couple weeks since I last uploaded a video, and in that time the tanks have changed and grown in, of course. Alright, here we've got the Endler Jungle. This tank has been set up about 5 weeks ago, so it's a fairly new setup. I mean, I've had the tank for a long time, but not the actual Aquascape, so I redid the whole thing basically. And you can just see the tank's doing amazing. Like, nothing in here is bad at all. I'm just loving every aspect of this tank. So if we take a closer look, first we take a look at the carpet along here. Looking really good with the Monte Carlo. It's starting to carpet, so it's like basically growing sideways along there, creating a carpet, and then there's shoots that are coming out up towards the light that I just have to trim, and each time I trim it back, it'll become more compact, and it'll kind of like grow in together and create a nice carpet. Above that, we've got some dwarf blixer amongst it, so that's also doing great. It's growing in, it's looking green, it's looking amazing. So yeah, it's definitely happy in this tank. And next to that though, in the center as a little focal point, we've got this AR Mini, and it's looking fantastic. Like, it's growing really well. There's no holes in the leaves, which means that it's definitely got all the nutrients at once and all the iron at once, because this tank is getting dosed with flourish iron every like couple days, so the plants are really loving that, especially the red plants. So I'm getting rewarded for doing that. And yeah, you can see this AR Mini. We've also got some over there, like up in there if you can see, and that's growing up towards the light, and it'll start growing out of the shadows and actually hopefully pop up in this little area here. That'll look really nice and definitely contrast with that little dark shadowy area and all the light around it. If we move to the moss is looking amazing. I mean, once again, this peacock moss at the front doesn't look amazing, but it is looking a bit better than what it did at the start, so I'm really happy with that. Then we've got some flame moss here, and that's doing amazing. I had a trim the other day, so it was looking even bigger than this, and yeah, it just keeps growing. So the important thing is with moss that I've learnt, this is the first time like keeping moss properly for me in an aquascape, but basically wanted to keep trimming it, because if you just leave it and let it grow out, all the moss like underneath the layers of moss on top, like that are hitting the light, all the moss underneath that is actually rotting away and dying. And when you trim it back, it's just going to look brown and really yucky. So I decided to make the effort to trim this moss, and it's looking great actually. So yeah, really happy with that. So the needle leaf Java fern is looking amazing, growing lots of new leaves, very healthy plant. Cannot argue with that, and it's actually starting to grow more with the Aquascape. Looks a bit better. At the start it was kind of like the leaves were going all over the place, but it's tidying itself up, which looks really nice. And then we've got some Dipley's diandras, which is also called blood stargrass. Not really blood, so I don't know why, but I can't get the red leaves out of this plant. And over here we've got the blood red rotala, and this plant was actually growing so much that I had to trim it the other day. So yeah, that's why it's looking a lot shorter, but before it was like creeping over to the front, which is a really good sign, meaning that it's growing really well. And I thought this plant would be a bit harder to take care of, but no, it's really easy. So once you got some reasonable lighting for the red plant, then it's going to start growing really red. And of course the liquid iron really does help. Every time I add liquid iron every couple days, it kind of reddens up in a couple hours, and it looks really nice. And of course we've got all the Bucephalandra and Anubias growing, so Anubias Nana Petite right there, Bucephalandra Gorilla, and Bucephalandra Brownie Phantom Mini came as like 3 or 4 leaves, and it's growing a couple leaves. Very slow grower, slow starter too. It's creeping up to the point where it's going to start shooting leaves every week or so, but it's definitely a slow growing aquarium plant like you'd expect most Buces to be. I've also got some Bucephalandra Catherinae up here. So if I take this lid off, which I actually cleaned yesterday for the first time, and it looks a lot better, you can see, like, hopefully the light's not going to help us today, but under the red root floaters, which I added a couple weeks ago, we have Bucephalandra Catherinae. Hopefully this helps a little. So yeah, that plant you see there, it looks like kind of like a crypt. That is the Bucephalandra Catherinae, and that's growing plenty of new leaves, and I'm really happy because that's like probably my favorite species of Bucephalandra in this tank. Of course, we got some dwarf pine needle that I almost forgot about because I trimmed it the other day, so it's back there, and it's pretty short, but yeah, in no time it'll creep up and start growing up towards the front. And yeah, it's a really fast grower once it gets started, and it's created new stems out of the main stem, and yeah, so that's going to start growing in no time. Give it a couple more days, it'll need another trimming, trust me. But I think that's all the plants in this tank. A lot of plants. I think it's like 14 or 15 species. It's a lot for this 20-liter tank, and it's a Kmart tank. For those who don't know, if you want to see the build on this tank, I'll leave the link above if you want to check that out. The fish are doing amazing. In fact, we've got great news. The Endler Guppies that we have in here, which is the Japanese blue Endler Guppies, well, they've had fry. So let's try find a fry, but it's actually really easy. Yeah, here's one. Right at the front. Oh, sorry, my camera is not good with small objects, but that is a Endler Guppy fry right there. Or Endler fry, I should say. Apparently they're not a guppy, they're just an Endler's live bearer. I got that from a comment on YouTube. Probably just an Endler fry. Yeah, so that's why this tank should probably be called the Endler Jungle, because they're technically not a guppy. The chocolate gourami is still in here. I really haven't been to the fish store lately. So yeah, this guy is just chilling. It's actually doing pretty well, just a bit too much flow of course, so he might move to another tank actually. I was thinking of giving him away or rehoming him, but I might have a tank for him coming soon. In fact, I'm going to show you in a minute, so stay tuned. But yeah, all we've got running on this tank is this Petworks mini internal filter. I thought it'd be really bad. It's meant to break really easily, but it's working a treat for me. So you can just see, just did a clean last night and it was really easy, really simple. Just took it out of the tank and there was just one little piece I had to take off to take out all the filter media, and job done. And the tank's looking really great. Crystal clear aquarium water. One more thing I quickly wanted to talk about in this tank, which a lot of people don't actually talk about on YouTube, and that is all the problems that I've faced in this tank. So algae-wise, I've also had this blue-green algae, which actually is an algae. It's a bacteria called cyanobacteria, grow on the moss the other day. I freaked out and I did a bunch of research. There's plenty of methods I know now that I can use if it ever gets out of hand, but I simply just took it out because it was just like 2 little patches on the moss. Hopefully there's no like little remnants in the tank that are gonna grow back and start going crazy in this tank. But yeah, the tanks are pretty stable. It's balanced now. At least I'm pretty sure it's balanced. The plants are growing and the fish are healthy. No deaths at all too, by the way, when it comes to the fish. But yeah, when it comes to algae, I've had a bit of algae grow on the needle leaf java fern. In fact, you could probably see it. Not sure if the camera is picking it up, but there is algae on the needle leaf java fern. You just can't see it, but it looks nice too, so it's very natural. I've added some liquid CO2 in this tank too, and that's killed a lot of the algae. This piece was growing with algae. All I did was just spot treat it with a bit of Seachem Flourish XL, which is a liquid carbon by Seachem. Really cheap and easy to find usually. It wasn't intentional actually to try and kill the algae off here because it actually looked pretty natural and nice, but I was just testing it to see if it worked with just the normal green dust algae, and it did, so nice to know. And yeah, a bit of algae growing here and there. A bit of green dust algae on the glass, of course. It's really hard to get to some places like here. That's a really good example. Like, this might seem like a perfect tank from here, but it's really not. There's a lot of flaws in this tank. But yeah, that's this tank all sorted. Yeah, it's a bit of a complex tank. Well, heavily planted, and I love to get to all my aquarium plants. Off subject, let's move to what I really wanted to show you, what's really exciting, and what a bunch of videos are going to be about. So if I turn on the light, my bed right there, I mean, not made, but you know, it's my bed. And if we move, oh, what is this? Let's just move this. Technical difficulties. Put this guy back here. All right. Oh, I can't even show in the camera. Oh yeah, these are 2 15-gallon aquariums, 2 60-centimeter tanks. Yeah, really exciting. So what did we have here before? Well, this whole shelf was like filled with books about 3 weeks ago, and I just decided to clean it all out. And I was gonna get some racks here, but it's just, it's a very small room. Like, that's my room basically. That's all my floor space. So yeah, I really have nothing to work with. So I just have to work with what I've already got here, which is this shelf. So I gave away all the tanks that were on here besides one of the 20-litre tanks that is going to go down here. Like, this can be a row of 20-litre tanks, which will look really nice. But yeah, up here is two 2-foot tanks. We're going to start off with this tank. That's where people will walk through. So if we step out, this is like the entry to my room. And if we walk through, they'll be greeted with this tank. I don't want them to be greeted with an empty tank and then a nice tank. I'm so excited to aquascape this tank. In fact, I'm prepared. Now I've got basically everything I need but the plants. I've got some of the plants actually, but basically got a nice selection of hardscape here. I'm probably going to use some of the rocks, but I don't think I'm going to use any of the driftwood for this aquascape. I might be ordering some other driftwood online, and if that comes in nice, then we might just use that. You've also got all these pieces if that doesn't work out. And yeah, we've got definitely a lot of things we can do with these pieces of gold vine. It's like gold vine and another type. So the gold vine is all like the little detailed pieces. But let's just take a look at the light that I've got on one of the tanks. Obviously the tank that'll be set up first. So what I really like about this light is like a $50 eBay light. 60 centimeters long, about, well, 58 centimeters. Fits perfectly on this tank. It comes with a remote, so we've got all these settings, which is really good. Let's turn it on. Oh, camera's not liking the lighting, but yeah, see, look how nice that is. Right now, I don't know how to fix the flaring with the light and the camera lens, but we're just gonna have to deal with it for now. So sorry, guys, but yeah, basically it comes with this remote. So we've got a load of settings on here. If we take a quick look at what we've got, so we've got like basically all these colors here, which is nice. That's probably my favorite. That's probably good for like planted aquariums. I'll show you why in a minute. We've also got these modes too, which is interesting. So we got sunrise, I think, sunset or something. This is night mode, I think, and then this is I'm not sure which one this is, but yeah, basically like times of the day. And yeah, it's actually a pretty nice layout, to be honest. We've also got adjustable, so if we go back to white, which is my favorite, we can dim the light. We can change the brightness, which is really nice. Also got a good timer on there too, which is handy. And then what I really love is actually this, which isn't great for like aquascapes and all, but like when presenting it, it is actually pretty nice, which is this setting where it kind of, so basically like a fade mode where it fades through all the RGB spectrum lights. So yeah, that's actually a really nice feature about this light. One more thing, if you're wondering how is this going to grow like the red plants and basically just plants in general if it's just white, it's really hard to show, but each LED basically has a mix of red, blue, and green, I think, and then white, of course. That's actually pretty nice, and that's going to hopefully grow the plants, but we'll see. If the plants aren't liking that, we can always just get a proper light that looks nice, but I was really trying to go for a light that I could try and get more of the blues and the whites out of, or more of the whites. But yeah, that's the light on this tank, and yeah, that's really nice. So there will be a build video on this, of course, in like a couple weeks or so. I'm just going to make money for the plants, and then we're basically ready to go. So that's really exciting. And over here is actually some of the plants that are going to be going in here. Got them growing out in this floating breeder box. Collected a bunch of Anubias over the last couple weeks, and I'm going to show you a quick look, give you a bit of an idea of what sort of plants are going to be going in this tank. This is going to be a heavily planted tank too. So also just a quick update on this tank. It's actually looking really nice. As always, plants are growing really well. The vallisneria just won't stop. And I actually planted in some of the blood red rotala trimmings, and you can just see there. It's doing fine, not as red, because of course this is really bad light, and especially with all the dense floating plants on top, it makes it really hard for any light to reach below. But yeah, some of the plants are finding that light and using it to their advantage. This Java fern, it's growing crazy. It's just like creating so many new leaves on top of each other, stacking like, eventually it's going to be going up to the top of the light. But yeah, each time it does get any closer than that. Well, I'm going to take the lid off and show you what we've got in this little plant nursery. Take off the lid. Take a look what we've got floating or drifting in here. I just realized the camera was zoomed in, which is why it was really hard to fit anything in the camera. But that's all fixed now. So basically, if we take out this floating breeder box, show you what we've got in here. We've got some Anubias Nano. So it's grown like 2 new leaves since I bought it from the fish store. This is Anubias Nano coin. growing some new leaves too. Hopefully it'll be a bit bigger by the time we plant that into the tank. By the way, all of these are going into like one of the new 60cm tanks, just to clarify. Some more Anubias coin, Anubias Nano coin. Yeah, I've got a lot of that. At least for me, it's a lot because it's actually really hard to find Anubias Nano in good amounts around here, and I managed to find an eBay seller, which is really good. Some more Anubias Nano coin. I think that's wrapping up the Anubias Nano coin. Altogether is about that much, which is really good. We got some Bucephalandra. I think that's wavy green, but that's what it was sold as. Not really sure. I think, oh, that's more Anubias Nano coin. Oh yeah, I think I might have missed before some Anubias Nano Petite that was mixed in. This is another little piece that I just found floating in the tank. I don't know how I got it, but I just found it, so that's fun. Some Bucephalandra here, not really too healthy of a plant, but still looks pretty good. And this one too. These are just like little pieces that will hopefully take off in the tank. That's only like 1/8 of the plants that are going to the tank. So yeah, it's a lot of stuff. Oh yeah, and another plant that I've collected for the tank is this needle leaf Java fern. A really nice clump actually. And yeah, that'll look really great in the tank. Definitely give it kind of a jungly vibe. But yeah, once again, I haven't even done the hardscape, so I have no idea how this tank is going to turn out. We've also got like a bunch of Anubias in here too. Like a really huge piece of like 20 leaves or something, but that's not going to the tank because it's way too big. It's just going to like take up 50% of the room in the tank. So, but I can show you. It's like, that's the Anubias that I bought online. That was a really good sign that it's a good store, so I'm really happy with that. But anyway, that's those are the plants I thought I'd quickly show you. Just got all sorts of trimmings in here too that might end up going into this tank. So yeah, that's really cool. I was just rummaging through the 80 litre right here. I actually found some really nice Ludwigia cuttings that I put in a while ago. They've actually grown really nicely, and I'm thinking of putting them in a new Aquascape. So what I want to do to get some of these smaller pieces also going quicker and ready for the tank within a week or two, put them in this tank here. So I was thinking, where could I put them? And just at the back there's basically some open space right there, right next to the filter. What we're going to do is just trim this up, so make sure they're all like evenly sized, and we're going to make sure that we can actually get a couple pieces out of this one long piece too. So I'm going to do that now, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so we've got a little plant anchor here, which is like a malleable metal. It's heavy enough to like keep the plants underwater and keep it at the bottom, and it just bends really nicely, and really cheap to buy too. And it's aquarium safe, definitely. So safe for shrimp, fish, and snails and invertebrates, basically. Yeah, so this is our piece right here. A little messy because it's been floating, but it'll, within a couple of days, it'll start reaching to the light and looking a bit more tidier than this. With that said, I just want to get this straight into the tank and see how it looks. Right, the Ludwigia is in right there. And hopefully that is looking very messy and kind of ruining the aesthetic in this tank. Also kind of bringing a natural balance, because not everything in here needs to be tidy. Things aren't tidy at all. That plant will hopefully grow within the next week. It'll start reaching to the light and looking more like a bunch plant, like this Rotala right here. But yeah, we'll see how that goes and give it some time. Alright, moving down from there, we have the immersed plant grow out tank. Now this is where most of the Anubias was growing for about a month, which is why we've had a couple more leaves on those plants than when I originally bought them. But if we take off the glad wrap, the cling film, whatever you want to call it, and see what we've got in here. Some trident Javafern hacking away. It's not looking great. I bought it like that and trying to revive it. It's actually looking a bit better than when I bought it, and it's definitely growing new leaves underwater. So that's good to see, I guess. But yeah, this Hygrophila pinnatophyta in AR Mini, oh, that's looking amazing. You just see that, those immersed leaves, they look really clean. And we don't really buy Hygrophila pinnatophyta immersed here in Australia, so you don't see them with your own eyes, and it looks really nice. Like, it's a nice plant immersed for sure. Next to that, we've got some Javafern Winterlob, also known as crested Javafern, and that's growing really nicely. I just bought it as a really big plant, so it's not really suitable for any of my tanks at the moment. So yeah, it's just growing out in here. It's even too big for this grow out. Just see the leaf is just kind of pushing against the glad wrap, but that's fine. We've got some Rotala rotundifolia here. I don't know why I've got that in there, but I do, and it's actually growing really nicely. It's just like, it's growing really weirdly now, like a carpeting plant. So I could carpet it if I wanted to, but I'll probably just plant it as a stem plant in a tank at one point, and then it'll grow to the light, of course. But yeah, that's basically the immersed tank right there. And give it a little spray right now, and it'll be all good to go. And we'll move to the 90-litre tank. To wrap up the video, like we do with most of the vlogs, is taking a look at the 90-litre aquarium, and yes, it's still looking pretty bad. Let's take a quick little look at inside. There's not really much to talk about because it's just so obvious when you just look into the tank. We've got some hair algae there, or thread algae. Now, I actually took out a lot of the algae the other day. It was so much worse in here, but it's come back. Like, the algae's just come back instantly, and the water just clouded up really quickly. So I don't really think I'm going to bother much with this tank until I completely redo it at one point. That's definitely going to be later on, though, because I've got all the other tanks I want to set up first. Yeah, we'll see how this goes. We'll hopefully see some progress. It's only going to settle if we take out the corridors, which we could, but I kind of like them in here. I don't know. I don't really have any good tanks for them at the moment, but maybe in the future there'll be some setups they could go in. But yeah, that's really the reason why the water's so cloudy. But besides that, I reckon the tank, like the plants, they're doing fine. Just got a bit of the dirt and the muck from the water column resting on the leaves, which can cause a couple problems like algae, like you can see along here. I swear I cleaned that out like 2 days ago, and it's come back that quickly, and it looks dead too, which is weird. But yeah, the plants are doing fine. They just need to get kind of like shaken around here and there, just so that you can get the muck off and they can get light through their leaves and their stems, and photosynthesize, of course, which is crucial. But yeah, that's really all in this tank. We just got all the fish. They're doing fine. No deaths at all in here at all. I said that twice. But yeah, I think we're just going to leave it here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Just a little update, and I've got some more ideas coming soon, and of course some more aquascapes, so stay tuned. As always, have a great one, and I'll see you all in the next video.